Well, I would like to welcome everybody to our live this month. And I'll tell you how it's been very interesting for me. I fell this week. I luckily had somebody that was near me and came to my help. Dog ran away, caught her, and I really wasn't hurt. I was a little bit bruised, a little bit of skin off my knee, but I was okay. And then Tuesday night, Wednesday night, my oven turned itself on all by itself. And, I was in the living room and I was eating and I was having a lovely dinner. And, yeah, and I was cooking on top of the stove prior to this. And I went in the kitchen to, take care of all my dishes. And um, it was hot in there.
Oh,
And come to find out that the oven was like on full blast. I did not know how to turn it off because it wasn't on. Like everything was
oh,
no lights. So I turned it on so that I could turn it off. And luckily it did go off. And my wonderful family said, Mom, you need to unplug that. It's broken. Don't do
yeah.
that anymore. So thank God I was home when it happened. My son-in-law seemed to think that it might have lost power. And when it kicked back on, it told the gas to turn on. And then when I ignited the top of the stove, the flame, it lit the oven. So it,
Oh,
it was just a series of weird things that happened, but that's how my week has been going. So there's been something that happens that's weird, and I have to go through some trials and tribulations to get past it to where I can see the good pieces that are coming. So last night I went shopping for a new stove and refrigerator. I had a very bad experience. I had a panic attack. I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? And my friend that was with me said, go to Lowe's. Now, for those of you that aren't catching this, Mickey's last name is Lowe. So, so I go there. It was a wonderful experience. The girl put me at ease. I was able to get what I needed, and they're going to be delivered tomorrow. You know, so
fantastic.
so the good came out of the bad that started. I'm going to have, new appliances that are going to work well and they're not going to catch fire. And then I've been in the kitchen. I had to pull up I have like a squishy mat between the sink and the stove and the refrigerator. So I had to pull that up so that we can get everything out. And well, I found out that when I fell, the knee that I fell on, oh my, does it hurt when I have to like get down and clean.
I know all about that.
Yeah. So I'm
My
persevering through
left
this.
knee.
And I know by tomorrow things are going to be great and I'm going to be able to, cook in my new stuff and yeah. So it's that kind of a period in time where there's going to be some difficulties or I don't want to say problems, but there's going to be challenges. And keep moving forward through those challenges and then space will open up for the good things in life. And I think that's how we have to approach this time. I kept
Well,
I kept telling everybody, I'm like, we've got to be in Mercury retrograde. Well, guess what? Mickey said we are.
we are, and you have covered everything I needed to say. It was lovely being with you, folks.
Oh
Bye.
no, we're not leaving. She's
No, you
teasing
can
you.
stay. I'm out of here.
Oh, it's just been a bizarre. And Tuesday when I was at work, Tuesday, it's probably not Tuesday, it was probably Wednesday. I was supposed to do a live at the Purple Iris. I'm helping out my friend over there. And we were totally locked out. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't get on I mean, we could get on the internet, but we couldn't get on Facebook. It was just an absolute, just nothing was working right.
Yeah.
Uh, and things are okay now, So they worked their way through. I think I see Audrey on.
Oh, good.
Uh,
Hello, love.
I do. Hi, Audrey. I have to shrink us a little bit so I could see the posts. Okay.
Well, my
Uh,
fall was almost 3 weeks ago, and my knee is still hurting.
yeah. Well, I didn't realize mine was, but it's hurting to go up and down stairs. I was also trying to get some laundry done. And, we just have to smile and
I
walk
fell
through it.
directly on the knee, and it's the bad knee. So it's going to take a while for this to
Yeah.
dissipate,
Yeah.
But like several other things that are going on, it's back and forth, back and forth.
Mhm.
I tell you what, it's completely illustrating two things. Eclipses are about a thing that gets blocked and you can't reach the energy. You know it's there, you've had it, you've seen it, you know you have it, but there's a thing that comes between you and you're blocked from it. So if you think about it, this is a solar eclipse, which means the sun is blocked out by the moon.
Now, I didn't realize that until this morning.
Yeah. Well, the sun represents your personality, your individuality, the very you of you, and the moon is your emotions. So your emotions are blocking your ability to really be you because there are things you would like to access in yourself, but they're being blocked. They're being blocked,
Hmm.
obscured, you know? And that's the nature of an eclipse. This is the first solar eclipse with first eclipse of the year.
Hmm.
And because it's the sun involved, which is the biggest, strongest, first planet of all to consider, then this one's going to have some very long lasting effects.
Hmm.
So, whatever you do see that manifests, look at it very carefully. Don't suddenly emote, don't suddenly react because there's something else behind it. Quite literally, when you're looking at the moon and you're saying emotions, emotions, and I feel, and I feel, and I feel, realize that that is in front of you, but there's something else much stronger and more beneficial behind it. The real you is behind it, not in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the other thing is that because the planets involved right now, Neptune and Moon and Sun and all kinds of stuff. The thing is that we're used to the fact that when an event happens, there are planets doing things to other planets, usually a couple.
What is there?
Otherwise,
Is there eight right now?
there are 8 planets all on top of each other. Out of the different things they could be doing to each other, this is an orgy. You know what it's doing, an orgy?
It's a solar orgy.
Uh, they're all right on top of each other in the strongest aspect of them all, the conjunction. They're not 30 degrees away, 60 degrees away, 90 degrees. They're 0 to
Zero.
10. Okay, between 0 and 10 degrees. And it's even tighter if it's not the sun or the moon. So those other
That
planets
that
are tight.
also means that easy things and difficult things are equally strong.
Almost, yeah, almost,
Okay.
almost. Okay, um, that's a bit general because it is always important which planets they are because some are a lot stronger than others, no matter what they're doing to each other. Like there's a planet that's the boss of your chart. It's the ruler of the chart. However, there's the 10th house, which is at the very top of the chart, and it rules how everybody sees you and what you're known for and what the world sees you as. But if your very rulership planet is not up there,
Mm-hmm.
then it's still powerful and it'll do things from wherever it is. But if something's close to the top, it's going to get seen. It's like I once said in one of our other lives, if you think of it as a ball that you're looking at, The things on the top of the ball are much easier to see. The stuff
Right,
around the
right.
bottom near where it's sitting on the ground is not as, it doesn't catch your attention as much. So when people have their charts, all these planets at the top, up on the upper half, the ascendant, the descendant, that's a line across the horizon. But
Mm-hmm.
anything above that line will get seen, will get credit. But things below the line mean that those are things will be very hard for you to get credit for. So you have the charts that have things going on at the top. Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, look at us, look, 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 we're twirling. But the things at the bottom, you're digging. But you don't get gold from the air. You get it by digging.
Yeah. Now, my birth chart, I don't have anything above the horizon line.
I know.
I mean,
I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't. Everything is, and they're all smushed together too.
Mine
So
are smushed together, but they're well above the horizon.
oh, yeah, no, mine are all kind of hidden. And being a Leo, when my ego is hidden, boy, oh boy,
That
and
doesn't sit well
emotion
with
and
you.
emotions are heightened, and I think that's what happened to me last night. I was allowing myself to be talked into something and settling for something that was actually costing me more money.
Where
And
you needed to speak out for your own ego and let the ego save you from Saturn in the basement.
that's kind
Trying
of
to,
what, yes, because my emotions were just making me sick. But I was trying really hard to not listen to that.
yeah.
And
Well, it was time
in
you
the
pay
end I
attention
did,
and listen. Yeah.
and it ended up turning out for the best. So,
Yeah. Once you listen to what you were being exposed, the wisdom you were exposed to, thank you, Carol. And
yes, thank you, Carol.
so,
Absolutely.
but now what I want to stress is with all of that in mind, this is a time when energies get blotted out and other energies get squeezed together and they have no choice but to work with each other. There's nowhere to go. Um, but this eclipse thing that we're seeing is so important. It works on a lot of levels. And the very fact that we're saying it takes a long time, some of the planets involved are very slow moving. So wherever they go and do something, they're going to do it for a while.
Hmm.
These effects of the eclipse will last for years. Whatever it is that goes down, it's going to make the kind of changes that are very long lasting. So be careful about reacting quickly
Hmm.
because whatever it is you create out of this energy, you're going to be stuck with dealing with it for quite a while.
Hmm.
Okay, but now the main thing is whatever you say about this eclipse, the other thing is, yeah, whatever it's doing in your chart, but it's also because it's an eclipse, it's up over our heads, it's over everybody's heads, it's over the planet. So therefore, it has a general way it works for the whole planet. It works in the sky over your particular country. So aside from the personal, there's a lot of stuff getting ready to come down the pike
Hmm.
on a global level.
Hmm.
And it's been trying to do that, but hold on to your hats. And that's why you really can't go off and react indiscriminately.
Right. And how we've been talking for the past, oh my gosh, almost 2 years. It's so what? Do
Yes.
nothing.
Right.
Just keep walking forward. Mickey, she told me something earlier and I loved it. She said it's like don't look to the side, don't turn around, just walk forward. Now go ahead, tell them that what you told me earlier about the Bible thing.
About what?
The Bible. The the um I can't remember the names, but the pillar of salt.
Oh, the Bible thing.
The Bible thing.
Now I get it because I thought, what was I saying about the Bible?
But
I
it made a
remember
lot of
it.
sense.
I remember it from
Okay.
one of the planets involved in a big way is Saturn. And I remember it from back when I was a little kid and I was forced to listen to sermons on Sunday because my dad was a minister.
Hmm.
No getting out of that. One of the sermons that comes out is when they're talking about Lot and his wife. Now, most people use it as a masculine thing of, see, you got to obey your husband and blah, blah, blah. No. The lesson to me is when you're going through something, they were running from what they knew was about to come down. Everybody's been warned, something's getting ready to happen. Everybody's running and leaving the country and trying to run away. And he was way out in front, and the Lord had told him to go do whatever it is in another place. And his wife was following along, and he said, come on, come on, come on, we got to go do this. And she's taking too long. And the Lord had told him, whatever you do, once you start running, whatever you do not look back. You can do anything you like, but don't turn around and look back. Well, because his wife was behind him and was slow and not caught up, at one point he couldn't resist and he looked back and she had turned to a pillow of salt and sat in a little salt. So, I mean, it's this thing of, so many of the stories in the Bible, the allegories, are talking about astrological things.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been put into the kinds of stories that you can tell to people who may not be able to read or write or, so they can pass it along easily and you just get the lesson from it. But that's kind of like what we're saying about how to get through this. You just keep walking. No matter what you're hearing, just be calm and keep walking.
Yeah, Mickey told me a nice story, and I said no rubbernecking.
Yes, no rubbernecking. Yes, exactly.
But, really just mind your own business and listen. Listen, because the moon is hiding the sun. Listen to your inner self. Like that's really important. And that's kind of what happened to me last night. I was ignoring the listening part until finally it got so bad that I just stopped.
You had no choice.
Yeah. I had no choice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
that's the best advice I can give people. It's just, pay attention, keep walking forward. Just don't do anything. Just keep walking forward and
take
listen.
a very deep breath
Mm-hmm.
and keep pushing. We talk a lot of astrology and stuff and cards and all kinds of woo-woo. But in that realm, I keep stressing how important it is to get your own astrology chart. It's very easy to learn it, by the way, but there's so many places online that will give it to you free.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they only put it on the screen, you can take a snapshot with your cell phone and have it print out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important to know what your chart says. You need to know where these planets are going to be in your own chart. Excuse me. Whatever it's doing in the sky, if it's the sun and it's in Aries, you want to look down, and it's not, by the way, it's in Pisces. But if you're looking at the sun and it's in whatever sign, you want to know where in my chart is this effect going to play out. You might, like I do, have Sagittarius rising. But if this is going to play out in Aries, I want to make note that first, that's another fire sign. So there's strength in the fiery stuff. And if it's Aries, it's going to be about a warrior-like spirit, etc. But you want to see, I have Sag rising. Where is the Aries in my chart? What house is that? Because each house tells you what part of your life it is. So you need to look and see, where is this going to play out? And as I'm looking at the chart in front of me for reference, okay, it's got right now in the transits, it has, let's see, where's the sun? There it is. Sun and the moon. All right, they're in the sky part of this chart is that it's happening in the first house. So that means these effects are going to be very personal. And that's in my chart. I'm giving you where it hits in mine. It hits my very first house. So that tells me these are going to be personal effects and they're going to get some shtick from my own sign, Scorpio, but Jupiter is the planet in Scorpio, and Jupiter is the greatest benefic. It's the of all the good guys, it's the goodest. Okay, so that's trying to mitigate what's going on as the transit comes over to try and mess with me. But if you don't have your chart, then you have no idea what's going on. And as I hold this up to the screen, you may notice all that clump of stuff there.
Move it higher.
Oh,
There you go.
and another
Beautiful.
clump there.
Yep.
You know, so it's about the, when we say conjunctions, they're all close to each other. They're in a row, and each one's elbowing the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to react. You know, even if they don't get along. Well, I don't usually mess with you. Yeah, but you know, so
Just a
but
little.
that's why I say it's important to have your own chart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you have to pay some astrologer 300 or 400 to give you the whole. Now, what I'm seeing is I'm getting sources. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you can go online on AstroDense or something and immediately get a free chart.
Honestly, on my computer, you can download free apps. I mean, they have
Yes,
ads, but you can put in your own information, and at least you'll get your own chart, and
right,
you don't have to pay anything for that. And
right.
yeah,
There's hundreds, literally hundreds of places to get a free one now.
yep, yep,
So
yeah.
there's
They have
really
them
no
for
excuse.
Androids and iPhones as well.
Now, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, I'm not into astrology." Okay, fine.
Hmm.
But what you need, it's so hard to understand all that stuff. You sound like a 2-year-old because when you were two, you didn't know a thing about English.
Hmm. Well, and isn't it funny that all of a sudden everybody knows when Mercury goes retrograde? So
Yeah,
the whole world is,
it gets a bad rap too.
it does, it does.
It brings a lot of things. Not all of them are bad. I mean, you
Hmm.
know, when it says it makes you forget. Well, if something bad just happened to you, you wouldn't want to forget about it, wouldn't you? You want to sit there and stew over it for months.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you handle whatever's thrown on your plate.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
But
you need a chart to do it first.
the world
And
is opening up to this
oh
information.
yeah, it really is. It has no choice right now. We're
Yeah.
going into a period of time where it will finally assume the position that it needed to be in of talking to us in words we understand. Astrology is an alphabet.
Hmm.
Every planet, every house, every aspect, they're parts of a language. We have nouns and verbs and participles and so forth. Well, so does astrology, and the verbs are all the angles, you know? So it's about taking the time to learn what the symbols are. And it's very quick and easy. Everybody knows Venus is about love,
Yeah.
okay? And everybody knows Saturn is like, oh no, you know, here comes somebody, the father figure telling you, and you know you should do so and so and so, and don't do this and don't do that. We have
Mhm.
all of these little things that we're used to. Jupiter, ho ho ho, Christmas brings you presents. Well, so does Jupiter. It's the fat man that smiles and laughs, you know. So, and it's the biggest planet of them all. So it's the big guy, and you know, there are
Mhm.
things all through your culture that are
Mhm.
actually alluding to the things in astrology.
Mhm.
And it takes very little effort to get even more used to it so that you know exactly what's there in your chart. There are times when I don't remember where a particular thing is. I've been looking at it for 50 years, but I haven't. Some things I remember, and some things I have to look at it and remind myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
So does everybody else.
Yeah. And I'm just learning, so it is a lot. It's very fascinating, and I look forward to being able to read them as well as anybody else.
Yeah. Well, this is a good time to start paying a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
Um, Mercury retrograde is a great time to study. It's a great time to think
Hmm.
prodigiously. It's not a great time to speak, but it's a great
Right.
time to think. So you take the time when you don't want to put out a lot and you go inside and you do your thinking You're getting help from Mercury being um, energized right now, and it's got Jupiter doing great things. So Jupiter makes it easier and more fun, makes it
Mhm.
pleasant to do. Um, but it's very, very necessary. Now, this thing right now is so powerful because you have the solar eclipse, which is the bigger one, but you've got Mercury retrograde, and then on top of that, you've got the new moon. Well, all this is about conjunctions,
Mhm.
things that have come together for intensity. So if it's intense in three different, very big ways, hey, hang on to your hats,
Right.
folks.
Right.
That's why it's so super effective to know where is this in your chart.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, excuse me, my throat is dry. I
I know. And
picked my tea.
I'd like to apologize even before we get too much. But I kind of have a little sore throat today too. So I've been drinking a lot of water and I have some cough drops here with me just in case. So,
Yeah, this is some herbal tea. It's lovely, and I've got fresh lemon in it.
oh, nice. I see
It's
Carol is
soothing.
on. Hi, Carol.
Hello.
Uh,
Thanks for giving our friends some really good advice yesterday.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting. Oh, thumbs up. Couple of thumbs up. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, do you think we should get into our meditation,
Mm,
our journey?
we can do.
I think this time I want to do exactly what we've been talking about is being still, listening, maybe some breathing. Someone asked me just this week, it's like, how do I get out of my head? And it's like, just breathe, conscious breathing. So we breathe every day. And I don't even know how many thousands of breaths we take a day, but most of them we're not aware of at all. We
Hmm.
can breathe without thinking, but when you think about breathing and you're consciously feeling what's happening in your body, that puts you deep into meditation. It brings you into alpha. So that's why we do the 3 to 1 count, right? We're paying attention to our breath. We're also silently saying the numbers and we're visualizing them as well. So that all helps us.
Well,
So
it gives you something to hold on to, for your mind to hold on to while it sneaks away.
yeah, I was listening to Deepak Chopra and he said he was going to ask a question. So are you enjoying this?
Uh-huh.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask the same question again, but don't answer it till I
Uh-huh.
say so, okay?
Okay.
Are you enjoying this? Now?
Yes.
So what happened in between the yes and when I asked the question?
You thought about it and were very attentive.
You were listening.
Listening, you were
Ex-
attentive, waiting
ex-
for your next signal.
yes. And I remember my Reiki teacher, Judy Snyder, telling me once, she said, she said, we can always listen. So when you're sitting to meditate, instead of thinking, I need to clear my mind, I need to clear my mind, she said, just sit and listen for what's coming next. And it's so crazy how easily you just slip right into that feeling. So,
It is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. And ask questions and wait for the answers. They may come in a voice, they may come in an image, they may come 2 days later, you know. But be patient and
Yeah.
wait and listen. Yeah. I
So,
heard the other day I was in bed, really, and I heard as clear as day, Kate, so much so that I got up and looked around.
no.
Who's here? Nobody was here. It was spirit, somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know who. And it wasn't my voice. See, that's the other thing. When you hear the answers, sometimes they're going to come and they're going to sound like your voice, but they may not be your language, the way you
Right.
speak. But sometimes you hear, and it's a whole different voice.
Hmm.
So
Well, everything is possible.
it absolutely is,
Everything is possible.
and everything is right.
That's why
So
we're here.
there is no, people ask me, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, you can't do it
You
wrong.
can't.
Can't.
Now, what you can do is say, I'd like to explore a different way of looking at this. And you change your now.
Hmm.
You literally step out of this one and step into a different timeline where
Yeah.
you're doing things differently and you're acting very unlike your old self, but you have acquired a new self.
Yes. And that's very hard on the people that are left paying,
But they
waiting,
agreed to be left.
waiting for the old person to come back, and they'll either come around or they won't.
They agreed to play
Yeah,
out whatever they play out
exactly.
because that's not necessarily how they see it in their now.
Right.
You've agreed
Exactly.
to be in theirs, they've agreed to be in yours to
Hmm.
help you see whatever the way is you wanted to experience it.
Yeah.
And it's reciprocity there. Okay, you do this for me, and then I'll come over there and do such and such for you.
Right. Yep.
Right?
All right. So now all you need to do is just sit very relaxed. If you're sitting up, just put your hands on your lap with your palms facing up. If you can do this laying down, you can do this however you like to do it. Just if you're going to go deep, just make sure your head is supported. So let's just start with the 3 to 1 count. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Visualize and silently say three times. Three, three, three. And again, inhale. Two, two, two. And again, one, one, one. Beautiful. With each inhale, you go deeper and deeper within yourself. You come to a greater, a deeper place of mind where you can listen. Wonderful. Now, I would like for you to visualize that you're sitting in a chair, and in front of you, there's a black velvet curtain. And beside you, there's a box. And in that box, there are white plastic numbers, and they go from 1 to 10. Now, I would like for you, in your visualization, to pick up the 1 and place it on the velvet curtain, and you'll see that it sticks. Beautiful. Now, I would like for you to remove the 1, place it back in the box, and now grab the 2 and place that on the curtain. And I would like for you to repeat this until you get to the 10, and I will see you at that time. Now, if a number that you have on the curtain is not the 10, I would like for you to remove that number and place the 10 on the curtain. Good. And now we can remove the 10 and place that in the box. Wonderful. Now, as we're standing in this room, I would like for you to visualize a staircase going down into your meditation room. knowing that that's where your lab is in the quantum door. And we're going to go down that staircase. There's 10 steps. So grab the handrail and slowly, slowly, let's start to descend. 10, 9, going deeper and deeper. 8, 7, deeper still. 6, 5, deeper and deeper. 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, and 1. You are now at the bottom of the staircase and looking around at this beautiful meditation room that we have decorated, and we see our quantum door and the door to our lab. So for right now, I think we're going to stand at the quantum door and set your intention that we are going to go out during the eclipse. The eclipse will be happening as we go out the quantum door, and there's a little fire, and there are seating in a circle, and we're all going to go out there and sit underneath the eclipse. Ready? I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, that door is going to open outward, and we're going to get to jump over that threshold and just go sit by that little fire. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. The door is open, and we can now join each other around the campfire. Okay? So pick a seat. Everything is comfortable. It's exactly what you need, whether it be a recliner or it be a little meditation stool. Some people will want to sit right on the ground. Whatever you wish, it's there. Good. Now, as we're all sitting around the fire, watching the fire, knowing that the eclipse is going on, but not watching it. We just know that it's going on. And we know that the moon is covering up the sun, and the moon is flooding us with emotions. So now is a time to sit quietly and think and listen, pay attention. So I would like for you to think about your breathing right now. So I would like for you to take a in-breath through your nose, deep into your belly, have your belly rise, and then just hold it for a count of 1 or 2, and then slowly exhale, releasing all the air from your belly. And again, inhale and exhale. Now I would like for you to continue this practice. And while you are thinking about your breathing, and you are feeling the air rush in your nose, and you are feeling the rise of your belly, and then your belly goes down with your exhale, and you can feel the out breath through your nostrils. And your breathing slows down a little bit. And maybe you want to hold your breath just a little bit between each inhale and exhale. Now get in a little rhythm here. And I'm going to add one more task. So on your next inhale, I want you to imagine that you are bringing earth energy up through your sits bone, up your spine, passing through all your chakras, until it reaches your crown chakra and it goes out the top of your head. And then as you exhale, just the opposite. The feeling is that it's coming down through your crown, down your spine, and out your root chakra by your sits bones. So you want to feel this energy coming up on the in-breaths and then going down to the earth on the out-breath. And I'd like for us to stay with this for just a few minutes. And I'll be very quiet. And you can listen and pay attention to your breath, your life-giving breath. Now I would like for you to congratulate yourself, as in doing this short little 2-minute exercise, you have now raised your vibration to a height that it wasn't at before. So now we can more easily talk to spirit, talk to our higher self or our oversoul, whatever language you see fit. So I would like to take some time here and give you the time to ask questions of your higher beings. Could be angels. You may leave the fire if you wish and go over to the little village across the bridge. But I'm going to give us, about 5 minutes to just be yourself. This is a time where you can just do what you need to do. Whatever comes to your mind will be exactly right for you. All right? So I'm going to let us go for about 5 minutes. Now, whoever you've been speaking with, listening to, or wherever you have been exploring on this journey, it's time to thank those that you're with and just meander back to the fire, gather together for just a few minutes. So make your way back to the fire, and if your spirits, your guides, your angels want to come and join us at the fire, that's okay. But let's gather here together, just standing around the fire. And as everybody joins us in circle, just grab the person's hand next to you. And I would like for us to send love out our hearts to the person to the left of you. And feel the energy coming in from your right, from the person to your right. Just feel this exchange. And as it starts to circle around, it gets stronger and stronger. Our vibration is so much higher than it was when we first began. Feel it. It's a vortex, and we're a part of that energy. And this energy you can call love. It is warm and it feels good. And it is given unconditionally to each one of us. And I love it that our beings of light have joined us in this exchange of this beautiful energy, creating this vortex. It makes it all the more stronger. And I thank each and every being for being with us, for assisting us, for guiding us on this beautiful journey. Now it is time to say our goodbyes for now. We'll be back before you know it. And know that you can come back here anytime you wish to visit the village, wade in the creek, walk through the meadow. Don't forget, there's the healing pond. Or you can just stay in the lab and do healing. You can do experiments. Or you can just sit in the meditation room and pay attention to your breath work. I thank you, each and every one of you, for being here, adding to this beautiful energy that we create around us. Now, I am going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, I'd like for us to go back into our meditation room. All right? 1, 2, and 3. Back in our meditation room. We are so safe, deep within our heart space. Nothing can harm us here. And again, you can choose to come here whenever and as often as you wish. Beautiful. Now, it's time to come back to this space, this reality, this 3D reality. But know that when we come back, we are going to bring back this high, beautiful vibration that we created in this journey. We're going to bring it back with us, and people around you will be able to feel it, and it will assist them in having a better outlook. I love it. I'm going to count to 5. And on the count of 5, you're going to be wide awake, eyes wide open. You're going to remember everything, and you're going to feel like you've had a wonderful, nice, long nap, feeling wonderful all over. Ready? 1, 2. You're coming up very nicely now. 3. Maybe you're starting to move around just a little bit. 4. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe take a deep breath in and out. And 5. Eyes wide open, feeling wonderful all over. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And my, that was an amazing trip. An amazing trip. There's our Mickey. I almost thought we lost her there for a minute.
No, I just really went deep. I needed it. And I do feel better.
Oh, gee whiz. Carol, can you hear us now? Apparently Carol lost sound.
Hmm.
Six minutes ago.
There's something,
Okay.
something else to say.
Did you lose sound too, Mickey?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Audrey. Audrey said wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, Carol said it's back now. That was weird, but it's okay.
It was nice.
Whatever happens is exactly what is supposed to happen. You know, I do sense that, especially when we're in a place of meditation, journeying, any kind of spiritual development.
Well, speaking of spiritual development, I did get kind of a little sneaky, inadvertent message to pass on to Carol about just that, because it's that you are somehow growing at a nice rate and gaining in wisdom and understanding. So, in case for some reason, I guess maybe that was on your mind, wondering if am I getting anywhere? Yes, you are, and it's noted by your higher self. So,
Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
Oh, God, I feel new again.
Really nice and relaxed.
So those breath meditations, they're so like I like to do them even when I'm just in bed before I go to sleep, and I put my hands on my belly
I
so
would
that I
too.
can feel the rise and fall.
Mm-hmm. I put my thumbs in the waistband of my pajamas so that my hands don't move once I'm just relaxed
Oh,
sitting there.
okay. Oh,
And I can feel my tummy, and
mm-hmm.
you know, kind of home in on that. I
Nice.
do that all times of the night. Open them because I wake up 3 or 4 times during the night and
Mm-hmm.
for a moment and then go back in.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, does anybody have any comments that they would like to make about did you speak with anyone? Did you get any messages? Like, I'm so glad Mickey got one. Now, for me, my favorite part is that energy exchange at the end, the circle of giving and receiving. Um, I just love the feel, the vortex feeling that that gives.
Mhm. Well, I got a surprise. The part where you sit there, you kind of reach out and you take the hand of whatever, whomever, and we're all sitting there together in the campfire. And I reached out and I took someone's hand. And when I put my other hand out, and I went like this, and a very familiar smiling spiritual face said, "Surprised, huh?" and took me by the hand, literally. So
Aw,
that was cute. That
very,
did help me relax. So I did hear from Jack, and
very nice. And
not
I
listening to quiet.
I had a great sense that there were many uh
Exactly.
any many beings of light Let's just say
Yeah,
that
exactly.
joined with us, that were able to join with us because we raised enough that they could match us.
Right. And it was very relaxed. We were unusually relaxed and attuned. We were open to being attuned. And so, yeah, it went well. It went
That's a
better. And that's,
wonderful, wonderful way of putting it.
it is part of Mercury retrograde. It's one of the nicer things about it. You are internally a lot more open and attuned to the other dimension,
Mm.
dimensions
Pe-
during a Mercury retrograde.
People don't ever talk about that.
There's so many good things about it.
Hmm.
If you're a writer, people say, "Oh, well, you get writer's block." No, you get uh, a plethora of new ideas that are inside. It's not for you to talk about, not for you to teach, not all of the verbal stuff. Yeah, that's all garbles. But your inner world is just wonderful with all of the different stuff that's coming in. Now, whether you choose to realize it or allow it or this and
Hmm.
that, just relax and allow. That's why I enjoyed this journey so much because I could just turn loose, let go,
Yeah.
and let stuff come in.
Hmm.
So my surprise is,
Audrey said her mother was with us.
uh-huh.
Beautiful.
It's interesting that you speak of Audrey because when I spoke to Carol about her message, Audrey was on my mind right after. And I
Hmm.
thought, but I don't have a message for Audrey. Well, but still, Audrey is important. The awareness of Audrey was there. But I don't know why. I don't understand. So there it is. He clarified that for us. Good,
Nice.
good.
Very nice.
It
Well,
was not to be left out.
right, right.
And whenever it comes about that Martin gets a chance to tune in, like after the fact or what have you,
Hmm.
um, I know that there's a very strong message coming to him too. So I have no idea what it is or who it's from. I get the feeling it's a close male relative. That's all I can say.
Well, Martin, you can post that in the comments when you get to this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's just so much
yeah.
other side energy right now, and
Hmm.
it's really, really strong. It's like when they say the veil is thin.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Feels like the veil
It's
is
easier.
gone. Hmm.
It's easier to hear on the other side and this and that because it's a good time to try to communicate. People who channel find that it's a lot easier right now.
Hmm. Well,
And personally, it's easier every day. I mean, it's something that happens now
mhm,
all during the day.
yeah.
Constant. I don't have to reach out and say, now I'm going to channel and I'm going to try and pick up somebody. I hear stuff all day long.
Hmm.
Once I said I'm open to it, then fine,
Right,
they take turns having something to say.
right. Nice. I remember a day when you said you weren't ever going to do that anymore. So, and you
Yeah,
know what?
yeah,
I remember the time when I said, I don't know how to meditate and I don't feel energy. You know,
yeah.
we're changing every day and
Yes,
morphing
they
and
don't.
growing and it's just being open to it. Whatever.
People think they don't. Well, I don't ever get anything like that. No, if you didn't, you wouldn't be alive. You wouldn't be breathing
Well,
because you're getting energy from your source
right. And it's
24
just
hours a day.
right. And it's just like I said in the beginning, we don't ever think about breathing. We don't know, we don't really pay attention to what it feels like to breathe until we pay attention.
We trust that the next breath is there.
Hmm. So trust that the next
Ultimate trust.
voice will be there.
We even trust that we're here.
Yes, we
We're
do.
interpreting what we get and saying, well, it means I'm here and I'm this and I have a family. Oh, really? How do you know? Because I can feel it. Yeah, because it's happening with the agreement of the whole planet, of the whole dimension of the
Hmm.
whole of everything.
You know, something, and I listen to so many spiritual things. I don't even remember where this came from.
Yeah,
It might have been Deepak Chopra as well, because I've been listening to him a lot lately. But somebody said that when you cease to exist on this 3D world, your soul becomes the mind of God.
yeah,
He probably said it a lot more eloquently than that, but I got the whole thing is that the bigger us is the part of God.
yeah. I
So,
agree.
yeah.
It's interesting because people say, well, uh, I'm not sure of what anything is and blah blah blah, and I don't understand about the other side and all this energetic stuff and blah blah blah. Um, well, what part of us is God in and blah blah? Well, that's all there is. So it's in everything. It's
Hmm.
in us. It's in the grass. It's in the sky. It's in. But what do you mean? That's all there is.
Right.
You
All it
cannot
is
see.
doesn't mean only this part.
Right. And
Hmm.
it doesn't mean it's over here. No, that's all there is. There isn't anything else. You can't be outside of God. God is all that there is to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
We are interpreting what we get, a particular way. That's a privilege. We're not all getting the same boring message.
Hmm.
We have our own take on things. We get to choose how we want to feel alive.
Right. Right. And that's our free will. So use it wisely, everyone.
Yes.
Listen, don't make
Use it for
rash.
each other. Use it for you. And when you say, but for others, no, I come first. You're all here together at the same time. No one's more important than anybody else. And it's you. There isn't anybody you can see that isn't me.
Mhm.
So
Now,
what you do for
taught
others, you're doing for you. Huh?
Judy also taught me that when you make a decision that is right for you, it is right for everyone around you.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is no one that's left out.
There
So,
is something that comes out of it.
yep, yep,
And we may not know what it is because we're not seeing from their perspective, we're seeing from ours. So,
yeah. So I'm going to ask people, to listen, take the time, pay attention, breathe for the next, 72 hours at least? But
oh, honey, yes, indeed. At least that's the crux of it. That's the
yeah,
meat of it in the center.
yeah,
But it will play out over time.
yeah.
The things created right now they're going to be rolling downhill. And that means it gathers stuff with it, It won't stop rolling, until you get to the bottom and stop. Then you'll see it unroll and see
Oh.
what was involved.
Had an image of sod.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
At least. But this is just going to be really interesting. If you can possibly hold yourself, no matter what happens.
yeah. We will get through this together.
Well, we asked to be here for this. So,
We did. We did. We
yeah,
are witness to everything that is happening now. Yeah.
this is going to be a ride now.
Yeah. Well, you think we should close this one? So we've been on a little over an hour. This has been a shorter one than normal.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so. It was powerful, and
it
that's
was.
okay. It
Yeah.
was short and sweet. So,
And I like that.
yeah, it's good. It's very good. I do feel a lot better than I did when we started.
I do too. I really do too. And I have to clean the kitchen and underneath appliances when we get off here. So
Oh, great fun.
I know, but I'm so excited because tomorrow sometime, I don't know when they're coming. I will have new appliances. So
Yeah, that's great stuff.
yeah,
I've already had to replace my stove. I recall what that was like, and I have a brand new boiler and stuff.
yeah.
But it
Oh
was
yeah,
an
yeah.
example of what you were saying. It's like But there were things you went through that alerted you to the fact that it was time to have
Hmm.
the experience of getting the news.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and who knew that? I mean, my stove has been losing power now for on and off for more than a year, and I
wow.
just keep resetting the clock. Who
Mm-hmm.
ever would have guessed that it could turn itself on? And
Well,
thank God
that's
I was home
good.
when it happened. Thank God.
I'm glad you don't smoke cigarettes because you could have walked into the room to light up and then bam.
That's true too, and I have my little dog here at the house, so yeah, I mean, yeah. So
Yeah,
everything worked out for the best. And
always.
and that's just the way we're gonna roll. Right? That's our intention. We're gonna all get through whatever challenges come our way.
Works for me.
All right, Mickey. Thank you. Love you. And I
And,
love all of you out there in Facebook and YouTube land. Oh, I always forget to tell people this, but please thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff because the more we get on YouTube, the more YouTube will show this to other
yes,
people. So
yes.
I will work on getting this done tonight and get it up. And hey, if anybody is, they're telling me that in the northeast of the United States, it's going to be like a double sunrise. You're going to be able to see the moon over the sun. And of course, you have to wear special glasses to do this, but you'll see the sun come up and then the moon will come this way. Then you'll see the rest of the sun come up.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be interesting.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be good.
So if anybody gets to see any of that cool stuff, send us a note. I love it. Thank you, everybody. Bye.